Good evening, President Martinez, Board Trustees, Superintendent Aquino, and members of our community. Today we're holding a public meeting to discuss our district's proposed budget and tax rate. Public participation in the discussion is invited. For our purpose, process, and payoff, our purpose is to propose a finalized budget plan for consideration that will allow us to transform SAISD into a national model urban school district where every child graduates and is educated so that he or she is prepared to be a contributing member of the community. For the process tonight, we will review the process that we've been undertaking all season long to adopt our budget. We will review the proposed budgets for the three adopted funds, General Fund, Debt Service, and Child Nutrition Fund. And the payoff will be that we will recommend a 23-24 budget plan for board's consideration that's aligned to our values and advances the district toward attainment of board goals, board guardrails, and supports the implementation of Always Learning. We always want to reflect on the values underlying our budget process, and our shared values that guide our process is that we will have a balanced, transparent, and understandable budget process, and we will keep our budget decisions aligned to the board goals, guardrails, and Always Learning. The agenda for our public meeting is as follows. We're going to review the process that we've undertaken during the budget season. We're going to review the major budget assumptions and initiatives. We're going to show some preliminary information on the district's property values and proposed tax rates. Then we're going to review the three funds for board adoption, General Fund, Debt Service, and Child Nutrition, and take a look at the long-term sustainability plan update. The first part of our presentation is a review of our budget process. We started our budget process back in February, and as you can see from this plan, since that time we've had several different board budget updates with different topics. We've also had some lengthy Saturday board budget workshops where we could really dig into a lot of content and have good lengthy discussions outside of a regularly scheduled board meeting. In addition, we have a budget committee that launched this year, and we have already had 4 meetings with the budget committee in the months between March and June. And the final step tonight, after this public meeting, we will be requesting board approval of our budget for the 23-24 school year. But we do have one final step in the process, which is to come back to the board to request approval of the tax rates for the 23-24 school year. And that happens in August because we need to wait for our property tax values to be certified in July. Part 2 of our presentation is to review the major budget assumptions and initiatives. The major general fund revenue assumptions are as follows. We did not make any assumptions, no changes to the revenues having to do with legislative items that are not yet complete. For student enrollment, we are projecting an increase of 436 students for next year. We are basing our budget assumptions on a student attendance rate of 90%. We're assuming that the student attributes for weighted funding are going to follow the same pattern as they are in the current year. We are using the required April 30th preliminary projections for property tax values to base our current budget projections on. And the same thing for the tax collection rate. We are assuming to remain at the same recent historical rate for tax collections. This slide just shows graphically the assumptions that we just discussed for student enrollment and student attendance. and it shows the projected year for 2024 with the 436 student enrollment increase. This slide captures some of the major expenditure assumptions that are built into the general fund expenditure budget. We have put through a $19.9 million compensation increase for the general fund. That was board approved on April 17th, 2023. We also had another 1.4 million of additional compensation initiatives that was recommended and discussed on May 13th in a budget workshop. That those initiatives are included. We also have additional teachers due to our projected enrollment increase of 1.3 million. And we have included department budget reductions of 5.9 million for the 23-24 school year, additional savings of 1.2 million from a newly implemented campus administrative guideline change. And then a few more increases that are included are a projected increase in utilities of 1.1 million, additional cost for property and liability insurance policies, and an increase in a mandated TRS rate change. This slide provides an overview of the $19.9 million compensation package that was board approved on April 17th. You can see the three major components of the plan for employee compensation at the top. The teacher pay scale shows that adjustments ranging from 4% at the entry years of the scale all the way through 9% at year 25. And this plan was designed to honor the tenure and longevity of teachers, librarians, and nurses that are paid on the teacher pay scale. The second section is for classified paraprofessionals and transportation roles, and this group received a 4% general pay increase and also some targeted compression adjustments. All other employees of the district we're recommending the 3% general pay increase. You'll see below that those three rows, many other strategic and targeted compensation initiatives, including new stipends to address some of the highly specialized and hard to fill roles within the district. As we've noted several times, this is a very historically large salary increase for the district, and it is the largest dollar increase in the last 25 years for San Antonio ISD. This slide details some of the high-level impacts from the department budget reductions that the district initiated for this coming year. As we noted previously, this is the second large department outside of the campus level department budget reductions. Last year, the district did a $16 million budget reduction, and we're following up here with another $5.9 million reduction at the department level. For the general fund, there's two additional items that we request board support each year for district initiatives. And the first is the TEA State Teacher Incentive Allotment. The district has been participating in the allotment for several years. This coming year, our projected budget for that will be $4.2 million. But I do want to make note that we do receive all of this $4.2 million from the state as revenue. So there is no financial impact to the district for participating in this program. The second item is the QSCB subsidy recommendation. The district receives a federal subsidy to offset some of the interest costs for certain bonds that we issued, and the board has allowed the district to utilize that subsidy for operations. We're requesting the board's approval to continue utilizing the QSCB subsidy for current operations. For the third section, we're going to take a look at the San Antonio ISD's preliminary tax values and preliminary tax rates for 2023-24. We want to call attention to the fact that San Antonio ISD has a July 1st through June 30th fiscal year for budget purposes. However, San Antonio ISD may not approve its tax rates until August after the property tax rolls are certified by the Bexar County appraiser. And consequently, everything that we're going to talk about today regarding tax rates are definitely preliminary. And that's actually further complicated by the fact that we may end up with additional legislation that would impact our tax rates. But we will come back with additional information at that time. Next slide shows the district's taxable assessed property value growth over a period of 10 years. As you can see, our district, the properties within our district boundaries have had a very lengthy and strong value growth, averaging more than 9% over the 10 years. The district's tax rate, we're showing again a 10-year history, and for this coming year you can see the one that is shaded around in the gold border. It is still projected at this time, but we do expect the tax rate to go down. We are projecting the debt service tax rate to go down by almost 3.1 pennies due to the strong continued property value growth. The M&O portion of the tax rate is showing an early estimate of the amount of tax compression that there will be. However, as I mentioned earlier, we do have several legislative bills that are still being considered that may possibly impact that. Most likely, if it did impact, it would be a further reduction from what we're showing today. So at this time, we are showing a projected preliminary total tax rate of $1.38,362 compared to what we have in place currently for this year, which is $1.4242. So we are expecting a decrease. We're going to show the proposed budgets for adoption. And the first one is our general fund. What we're showing you right now is basically the budget in two parts. We're showing you what our projected budget would be without any utilizing the ESSER fund for any of our for any parts of our budget, and so that we have showing the $530 million. 530, 664, 416. But we are expecting to utilize the ESSER grant. Next year will be the last year for the ESSER grant to assist with part of our general fund as is laid out in our sustainability plan. And so the budget that we're projecting for adoption is $489,278,100. Our debt service fund, and what you're seeing on this slide is a two-year comparison. We're showing current year of 22-23, but for 23-24, what we're projecting and requesting for board adoption is $120,799,096. Child Nutrition Fund, for what we are recommending for budget for adoption, is $44,309,161. Document here shows all three of the adopted funds together, along with the projected ESSER plan for year 3. That will be our final year of ESSER, and it is made up both of supplemental support initiatives as well as some of the ESSER budget that is being utilized to assist the general fund in our sustainability plan. So this is a summary of what we will be requesting for the board to approve for budget adoption. Part of our presentation is an update on the long-term budget sustainability plan. This particular slide just details the development and the key highlights of why we developed the 6-year sustainability plan for the district. We did learn a lot from the district's landscape analysis study that really clarified the potential for student enrollment growth for our district in future years. And so we developed this plan as a response to that and to assist with planning future initiatives in order to make sure that we had a good financial course forward. The plan includes very conservative assumptions about enrollment, and it includes some of commitments that we made to our current and future operations and some tough decisions that were planned to resolve our structural budget deficit, including central office budget reductions, equity-based staffing guideline revisions, and beginning to understand our underutilized facilities and research a plan for going forward. Knowing that all of these measures will somehow contribute to beginning to balance our budget and free up budget in certain years that we have designated that we will need to continue to address future staff compensation increases to ensure that we remain competitive. This slide captures everything that we've updated for this future year, the current year expected budget finish, and then the new year adopted budget, and all of the initiatives that we had discussed. This slide has a recap of our budget calendar for the year, and after this evening, when we request the board's approval of our budget, we will be coming back in August to discuss the proposed tax rate and request board approval of our tax rate on August 21st. Concludes our presentation. Thank you.